Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing great. Today is the first day of the month-long promotion for the Genbo Prime Gaming drops. Basically, go in here. If you have Amazon Prime, hit claim now. You can go through the steps. Super easy. You get a code, one-time use, enter the code in the promo code section, and you're going to get a free Genbo. They've been having some issues with the code processing. It will be fixed pretty soon, so just try to re-enter it then. Now, for me, I don't need him. I already have several copies of him. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving away my code, but I'm not posting it in the comments, not posting it in the description. I'm going to be posting it somewhere on the video at some random point during the video. So pay very close attention, enter the code. If you win, congrats. If not, you guys can go down in the comment section. If somebody else has shared their code, somebody who doesn't need Genbo, doesn't plan to use him, you can try to enter that code as well. So if you are somebody who doesn't really need Genbo, you're way past the point of ever using him, then go ahead. If you have Amazon Prime and you want to do it, it's completely up to you, of course, then just enter that code into the comment section and share it with people who could actually get some use from Genbo. Genbo's a champion who I think is very good, especially as, well, his main role, which I think is Arena NUKER. But I did use him in some other areas as well. So I think it was my free-to-play account. I actually pulled him pretty early. So I used him in Fire Knight because the double hit from his A1 ability is actually pretty useful, especially when you're so limited on champions. Having that double hit is amazing. I mean, any extra hit against that Fire Knight shield is going to be massive for you. So his A1 attacks one enemy 2 times, hits pretty hard. Each hit steals, not just takes it away, or not removes, but it steals any increased attack buffs. Each hit also has a 30% chance of stealing one random buff. The best part about this, the increased attack buff steal cannot be resisted, meaning no accuracy required. You hit him, no weak hits because he's void affinity, and you're going to steal that increased attack, which is so good considering he's an attack-based champion. Increased attack is massive, and you always want to run a champion with increased attack alongside Genbo, ideally. But if not, you can always possibly rely on stealing one, right? So his A2 ability attacks all enemies, 80% chance, books up to 100% chance of decreasing the duration of all buffs by 1 turn. Which is very good. It does the attack first and then has a chance of reducing the duration of the buffs by 1 turn. So basically, he can attack everybody. If his passive isn't activated, he can actually reduce the cooldown of that swift parry. So he could, or an unkillable, whatever kind of buffs they have, attack everybody, they proc swift parry, and then he's reducing the duration of it by 1 turn, which swift parry is only 1 turn. So he's basically ignoring unkillable even without the conditions of his passive being met, which you'll see in just a few minutes. This effect cannot be resisted on critical hits. So if you don't build him with 100% crit, this can be resisted. So you would need to build accuracy. But to be honest, I wouldn't even build accuracy on this champion. There's only one small condition where you would need it, but majority of the time you're going to have the increased crit rate, giving you 30% extra crit rate from that A3 ability, which says places a 30% increased crit rate buff, and a 30% increased crit damage buff on this champion for 3 turns. Which is amazing. Then it grants an extra turn. So basically in Arena, you're going to be going A3 into A2, and then the enemy is going to be dead, basically. That's how it's going to go, okay? And then his passive ability, immune to decreased attack debuffs, which is incredible because that is the most harmful debuff, period, to an attack-based nuker. Will ignore unkillable buffs when attacking under an increased attack. So Arbiter, Duchess, Brogni, anybody who's giving you an increased attack, AoE on all your allies, going to be amazing to run alongside this champion. Very hard-hitting champion, great A2 ability. As far as the blessings go for him, I'd probably run something like Crushing Rend, giving you some extra defense ignore on that first hit. Crushing Rend's going to be great. That's probably just my favorite one. Cruelty is good for like longer fights, but I think Crushing Rend is just the way to go. He also brings a very nice speed aura as well. Now, as far as his masteries go, this is my setup, but make sure before you follow any masteries, okay? If you're a newer player, make sure you understand the masteries before you just follow them blindly. I like this one, but if you're somebody who can't even get to 200% crit damage, you may not want to take Helm Smasher. You may want to take Flawless Execution because you can't hit that hard anyways. There's a possibility. So make sure you understand things before you go on, but basically, he's built right now to have that initial hit very hard. So ideally, at the start of the match, I'm going to be going faster than the enemy. So I'm going to be having full HP, so my damage is going to be increased by 5%. Also, going to have an 8% boost for that initial hit. And then if they have more HP, which they probably will, it's going to be an extra 6% boost. So I got as many damage boosts as I could, and also some counterattack stuff, which is very nice. So there we go. That is all the information as far as the basics. Let's talk about his gearing, and then we'll showcase him in a few teams. So as far as his gearing goes, ideally what you're going to do is you're going to put him in any of the defense ignoring sets, okay? So Savage, Lethal, Instinct, Cruel, any set that ignores defense, try to get him in that. If you can't get him in that, your stat priority is going to be attack. You want a lot of attack on this champion. Get him to a reasonable speed. So for you, if you don't have a lockdown champion like Kymar, Umbral, Molly, any champion to prevent Genbo from being attacked, then you're probably going to want him to be faster. So what you're going to do in that situation is have, say, for example, well, I'll get into the arena. Okay, once we get over there, I'll show you what I'm talking about. But for me, 183 speed is perfectly fine. Crit rate, 70% plus, especially if you're using this A3 ability and you're relying on that. If you're not relying on that, then go for 100%. But I think going for 70%, you're able to have so much more freedom in your gearing. You can stack up a lot more attack. You can go into one of those defense ignoring sets. You can go more speed. You can go more crit damage. Accuracy, don't need any of it whatsoever. So here we go. That is Genbo's breakdown. I'll show you guys the pieces of gear that I have on him currently. Obviously, we could put some glyphs on it, but it doesn't really matter. He should do pretty good. We're currently in gold 5. I'm going to try to go against some matches that are hopefully not super easy and hopefully give a pretty decent idea of this champion. So as far as the teams you're going to build around him, this is going to be awful, but I'm going to go ahead and try it because why not? We have one polymorph, so polymorph's kind of weird, especially now with Kymar polymorphing himself from the buffs. So we're going to see how this goes, okay? But let's say you have Kymar, all right? So we do Arbiter, Kymar. We're going to do, let's think about Madame Saris. Is she even built on my account? I don't think she is. I'm pretty sure I've stripped her gear because with the quick rise of polymorph, just strip champions are nowhere near as good as they used to be. I'm probably just going to get resisted, honestly. That Madame Saris is such low accuracy. What about my Lydia? I prefer Madame Saris because she doesn't... Lydia has a few things in her kit that's not great as far as going against teams in the arena, but I don't want to get into that in this video. So Genbo, let's go ahead and throw him in here. So the two different teams I was talking about. So in this situation, we have a speed booster into a control champion, which is Kymar. So he's going to lock him down and play sleep, provoke, stun, anything like that is going to do very, very similar effect. Basically, you have your fast champion into the control champion, and then you don't have to worry about taking a turn until they wake up. So if they're, say, 300 speed and you outspeed them, well, now they're all asleep, your champions can be very slow, and they're still going to go before the enemy wakes up and gets their turn. Hopefully that makes sense. But if you don't have a champion like Kymar, and you're just doing a typical speed tune team, you're going to want to have, like, say, Arbiter into maybe Golden Reaper, into Lysandra, into any other champion that does another speed boost. So then your speeds for your slow damage dealer won't have to be that high, and you still won't get cut in on. Hopefully that makes sense. But instead of 183, Genbo may need to be 225, just as an idea. It depends solely on who you have boosting the speed and keeping you in your speed tune. There's tons of different options you can do. That's kind of the two most popular go first teams setups. So you either boost and stay speed tuned, or you boost into a control champion and then your speed tune's really, really easy. That's what we're doing here. Boosting into a control champion, very, very easy speed tune. But we're going against a team that's not even a fast team. This is just a tanky team. We have no decreased defense, so we're 100% relying on Helm Smasher to proc. We're relying on, well, Savage to just do some good work. And then hopefully they wake up before the reaction goes off. They did not. So they have reaction pretty high level in the arena. So we're just going to do the A1 ability first on this Necrit. Dang. That's pretty impressive for real. So the Necrit's dead. Who did decrease? Okay, decreased defense. Did I say we don't have decreased defense? I lied. We do have decreased defense. So there we go. We skip past their reaction. Got to be careful about that. We're not gonna buff up yet. We don't need to do that. We'll just say that for next turn. There we go. Everybody just got destroyed, but then we got another res from Duchess. Not great, but we do have very low cooldowns on his abilities. That is Genbo's abilities. Okay, Trunda is the only person I'm actually worried about here. Nobody else I really care about whatsoever. Everybody else here, it's really irrelevant, honestly. Pythion, just annoying. There we go. Okay, Duchess, Veiled. That's unfortunate. So I'm gonna get the extra turn. Maybe not the best thing. I could have just done the A1. Hopefully kill the Duchess, not quite. Hopefully strip and sleep the Trunda or just kill her. That's perfect. So we'll boost some turn meter. The Pythion's going to res, right? That's okay. We're going to single target the Trunda. We could hit the Duchess. There's no way we don't kill Duchess, right? I'm not going to risk it. We're just going to do AoE with Genbo. Oh, just kidding. Okay, Duchess is dead. And then we use A2 from Genbo. Starting to work down their team pretty well. Should be able to single target the Pythion, but now Necrit's protecting him, so it's going to be even more difficult. But being a Force Affinity champion, most Magic Affinity champions would take forever to kill his team. But with Genbo, it's not too difficult. because you literally have a void champion, never going to weak hit, hits very hard as it is, immune to decreased attack, which we didn't have on that team. Actually, take it back. Necrit could do decreased attack. So that's incredible. Very, very good. Now we just got to get some crits going off. Not having a 100% crit rate could be a factor in not killing him quicker. I think we missed a crit just now, but we should be okay. We should be. There we go. Okay, one more hit, we'll be fine. Let's go ahead and boost some turn meter. Maybe get a sleep off. No sleep for me. Let's see. Okay, strengthen perfect. 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Obviously a long fight, but not terrible, man. Level 100. I'd say this is a pretty good test. I mean, some of these teams you just easily blow through, see his damage, but that team actually pretty decent. Okay, 10 million player power. So it's not a super easy team, which is great. So guys, that first team we did was against a pretty slow and very tanky team. A team like this is something you're going to more likely face pretty often with this kind of setup. You're just going to be trying to outspeed them, okay? You can go against those slower teams, but you wouldn't need to use such a fast team because as you could see, when you run into resistance stuff or when you run into stone skin, when you run into reaction stuff, it's going to make the match go pretty slow. So if you can go slower than them, wait for the reaction to wear off, then you're going to be in a much better spot. So for this setup, I'm going to use the kind of speed tuned idea, all right? So what we're going to do, hopefully my Lysandra is decent speed. I do have a Lysandra. I don't use her that often. Let's see what she's at as far as speed goes. 295, that's not bad. My Arbiter's speed is almost 400. Obviously, this setup right here is not a good example whatsoever because I'm just going to kill him. I'm just going to one-shot them all. But most likely you will too if you go against a speed-tuned team like this, like we're going against right now. But what it will do is it will showcase the effect that his passive brings, which is ignoring unkillable. So if you know, Skull Crown has an unkillable. If she gets down low, she's about to die, she just places unkillable on herself. So now we're going to do this. We have the increased attack. We're going to ignore that unkillable, and then boom. They're all dead, except for the reaction proccing Arbiter, which is annoying. All right, so there we go. We should be able to move through this without too much of an issue. Obviously, with Kymar, it's going to be a lot better because you can just reset. But if you don't have Kymar, you don't need it. You can one-shot the champions. That's pretty annoying that she had reaction, though, for real. Smart, definitely smart, but still annoying. We don't have the increased crit rate, which is unfortunate. We do have 70%, so we should crit more often than not. But whenever we do get stripped, it does feel bad. Though if you assume you're going to win most of the time, then it's not a big deal, right? If you assume you're going to go first, you assume you're going to get the first hit, you don't need the 100%. But it's just completely up to you on how you want to gear this champion. If you want to go with the very consistent, or if you want to go with the harder hitting. So both of them, very viable builds, make a ton of sense. Next team, let's go ahead and try this one. We're going to do the same setup, Lysandra. Hopefully they don't have reaction. Hopefully it doesn't proc. Most of the time, speed teams don't have reaction gear because it's a lot less likely that they'll be able to use that reaction because they're hoping to go first, right? So here we'll strip everybody. No polymorph. Genbo's going to buff up, use A2, and then hopefully everybody just gets evaporated. That's what Genbo does. He just evaporates people. So super, super good champion when it comes to the arena, especially if you're early on. He's going to help you just completely circumvent Ultimate Death Knights. He's going to help you get rid of Skull Crowns, Leorises, Swift Parry champions. So many champions Genbo's going to help you deal with. Fire Knight, he's actually pretty decent there as well. Not the best option because all he does is bring that double hitter on the A1, but he's going to help you clear the waves. I used him on my free-to-play account to help clear the waves, increase crit rate, increase crit damage on himself, add an increased attack with another champion or team. He's going to be hitting pretty daggone hard. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and try it on Dragon Stage 23, just to see what it can hit for, okay? Just as a one last test before we hop out of here. And don't forget, hopefully you claim the code because it should have already been popped up, but just scroll down in the comment section and you can hopefully find some other people sharing the codes as well if that's something you're interested in seeing. Go ahead and jump in here and see how much damage Genbo can hit for. We have decreased defense and weaken, increased attack, increased crit rate, and increased crit damage. We don't have the damage boosting from Bad L or from Gerp Tuck, none of that. We're just going to see what Genbo can do with what he has currently, right? It's going to be some RNG because he could proc Helm Smasher. Maybe he doesn't proc Helm Smasher. You never know, right? But here we go. Everybody has decreased defense and weaken. Perfect. His A2 ability hits for, boom, 102, 142, 146. It's pretty respectable damage, I'd say. Pretty respectable damage on stage 23 of Dragon, total of 642,000 damage. I like it. Void Affinity, never going to be weak affinity. Very, very nice. Champion who's great for the arena. So guys, congratulations if you got your Genbo. Definitely a champion who I'm pretty happy they offered him through this Amazon Prime drop stuff. And also, I didn't even mention it, but amazing for faction wars. So good. I mean, Shadowkin's fairly new. Not really. I mean, it's one of the newer factions, but you got a lot of options now. But he's a great damage dealing option. Honestly, looking at it, probably one of the best damage dealing options as far as the epic and below. Obviously, Ninja's pretty amazing, but epic and below, Genbo's pretty daggone good. So guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next video.